Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on the Gridiron, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? Oh, did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown Lions. I am sitting here. I was going on tonight. I had planned to go on right at 10:30, man. And then I'm sitting here working on some graphics and stuff. I'm watching the Hall of Fame game. Just saw the interview with my teammate Eric Allen. And then I look up and I was like, damn, I was supposed to start at 10:30. I just got I'm so happy to watch football right now, like an earnest game, like a real game. That's a touchdown right there. Ball across the plane. That's a touchdown. Just excited to watch a real game. You know what I'm saying? So, and as usual, like I've been saying, man, Eric Allen should have been in the Hall of Fame 2, 3 years ago, but he's in now. That's all that matters. Um, technically, the first of my teammates to get into the Hall of Fame, and I say technically, is because EA was there from the rip. He wasn't a late signing. Now, I also did play with James Lofton. James Lofton was with the Eagles for like a hot second that year in '93. And I think he signed on just so he could get a couple of passes and break the records. And then I think if I remember correctly, he was out again. They cut him or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know James Lofton was on the team for a hot second. Caught a couple pay. He was in, he was out. He was in, he was out. So he's also in the Hall of Fame, but EA, like I played with. I got stories with Eric Allen. You know what I'm saying? So I've told that story about what we did in Westchester with the Tyco racetracks and all that type of stuff. To me, that's a core memory for me in camp. So happy for EA. I was efforting to get him on my podcast like before his announcement. And now, like, he Hall of Fame. That's like, I'm gonna have to really put it in overdrive if I want to get in touch with him. So we went back and forth on social media for a couple times, but it's, when you deal with guys like that are that busy, it is very, very difficult to pin them down. And then you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. I've been trying to get Brent Selleck. I met Brent Selleck at the Super Bowl celebration. We both from Cincinnati, Ohio. So we had that kind of commonality. Reached out to him. He's hard to get in touch with because you got guys on different levels, man. I am so far from what most people think a celebrity or a sports celebrity is. I might get recognized out in the public every now and then. Every now and then. So, but for the most part, like, if I'm standing with Irvin Fryer or if I'm standing with um, Brian Westbrook or Jeremiah Trotter, they not even looking at me. And that's the reality of it. And I'm cool with that, man. You know what I'm saying? So um, just trying to get those, like, pin those guys down is difficult. I remember when I first started my podcast, I talked with Jeremiah Trotter, and I thought I was going to get him. And this was back when I just had an audio podcast. I was doing a traditional podcast. This was years before I even I even thought about getting on YouTube. And we were supposed to do it. We had a date, had his information, had his number. And I get real nervous about stuff like this because I know guys at that level get busy. And if you got, let's say you agree to talk to me on a Monday night, right? and then let's say last minute Nike wants you to show up to an event to sign some autographs, and they're gonna pay you $5,000 for a couple hours, something like that. Uh, which decision are you gonna make? You know what I'm saying? So things like that happen all the time, especially for guys at that level. Um, and I remember I called Jeremiah and I was like, "Yo, we good? You still coming on?" He was like, I'm in Puerto Rico." I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, man. I'm opening up a hotel over here." I was like, "Oh shit." So I understood, man. You got to take care of business, man. So sometimes you win some and you lose some when you're dealing with guys at that level. So um, but I'm gonna try to get some of my guys on again. I'm definitely gonna try to have Willie T on. Because Willie T is somebody that's a friend. You know what I'm saying? Um, Willie T is a friend of mine. Irvin Fryer is a friend of mine. Barrett Brooks is a friend of mine. And when I say a friend, I'm talking about if I call them, they will call me back. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's a friend. G Cobb is a friend. Ken Dunnick is a friend. If I call those dudes, they will call me back. Um, uh, I know Jeremiah, we see each other at the events and alumni events, and we dap it up like that. But Trot is not somebody I'm gonna call like, "Yo, man, let's hook up and go get a beer or something like that." We're not tight like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very conscious of that and what people have to do in their day to day. And I understand that when I've seen Brian Dawkins at events, and again, he'll say, "What's up?" We'll dap, we'll take a picture, and then he's gone. You know what I mean? So I understand where I am in the pecking order and all that kind of stuff, man. So it's cool. Uh, but I say all that to say I am efforting to get some of those guys, at least some of the guys that I played with. I had a chance last year to talk with Mark McMillan, who I played with, Minnie Mac. Um, he came on the podcast one time, and this was just after he had been on Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay. He was on that show, and I got a chance to holler at him, doing this thing and launching his food brand shortly thereafter. So every now and then I get I get some guys. So I'm trying to pull some strings and get some people on, and it's all good. So we're gonna try to make some things happen this year. We're gonna have some fun. Um, but I am ecstatic that football is back. I am ecstatic that football is back. It's funny because I am working on some graphics, but I'm working on shit for golf. Imagine that. I started another channel. It's called Pro Fan Golf because I started going to a driving range. G Cobb invited me to like a Eagle celebrity golf event. So I went there and golfed and met up with some guys. G Cobb was there. Uh, my guy Dom was up there, and just kind of caught the golf bug, just having some fun. We was in a good group, just smacking the ball around, nothing serious. Hadn't played in a long time, but I caught the bug. Now I know with my schedule, I can't go out and play 18 holes every week. That ain't happening. That's unrealistic for me. But I got a driving range less than 10 minutes away from my house. So I started going to the driving range. I went to I went uh to the flea market, to the Berlin flea market, and I found three golf clubs for like $30 at the flea market. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the driving range and I'm gonna beat the hell out of these clubs. And that's all I do. So I started filming it. And I don't know if you guys may have caught me one time where I streamed one time from the range just to see if I could pull it off. And it worked. The only thing is where I have the camera hooked up so people can see me, I can't see the chat at all. So I had my microphones on, I had like a lapel mic, and I had a mic right next to the T so you could really get that sound. So I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more. And oh, good pass. Oh, he got picked off. Good. What a pick. What a play. What a play. Is he gonna take it to the house? Is he gonna take? Oh no, he got caught. That was a hell of a pick right there. He took it out of the receiver's hands. That was a phenomenal play. Good catch by that DB. That was phenomenal. Good play. That might get him a spot on the team. That's how things happen like that. So, but yeah, man, I was working on some golf stuff, and then I was like, and then I looked at the wow, that's just great play, great concentration by 4-9, great concentration by 4-9. Um, yeah, working on the golf stuff. So I'm starting my golf channel. Is literally it's just all about me finding cheap golf clubs at the flea market and going to the driving range and hitting them off the tee. That's all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start maybe following a little bit of live golf and the PGA tour and something like that. I even thought about downloading the PGA golf 2K26 Tiger Woods game or whatever, just to have some fun with it. But that's something light. But I'm really looking forward to getting back into football, into studying game film again, hearing all the stuff about Jahad Campbell, and our defense, the way they've been playing. Jalen Carter finally getting back on the pitch, just different things like that. So that's fun for me now, and just really getting back into the swing of things. Got some really good ideas that I want to do this year. Really trying to kick my graphics game up. I'm really trying to get more into the production of what I'm doing and on my channel. So you guys see the graphics, everything in the background, the people walking behind the glass back there, all of that stuff, and all of it's going to change. All of it's going to change. All of this stuff was from last year. I'm trying to get updated stuff, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it with the WNBA going. I'm still going with the WNBA, but everything after. I think what I'm going to do. I was saying at the end of this month, so right about now, I was going to split the channel, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and rock the way everything is rocking to the end of the WNBA season. And then that's going to lead into the NCAA women's. And, I'm going to follow European and Australian basketball specifically on the Hoops channel. But Pro Fan Talk is going to be all Eagles. Still going to do trending sports, but I'm going to say it's going to be 90% Eagles talk. So looking forward to that. Me and Tone trying to put together another show during the week. So we're going to have the Sunday show is probably going to move to Saturday because Sunday is game day. And then we'll probably have one during the week. We haven't figured that out yet. We're working on logistics, trying to get that stuff together, working on some other things. We're trying to get the band back together for a show. Trying to do a kind of a reunion show with me, Tone, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, and Rob Ellis. Because when he invited me, Barrett Brooks got me on Jacob's Sports Show. That was with him, Tone, Rob, and D Gunn. And that kind of really boosted what I was doing on YouTube. So I wanted to get together with those guys for at least one time before the season starts. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm having a blast doing this. The channel is starting to grow. It's starting to grow. I just reached I think it was like 200 million, no, 2,100,000 views or something like that. Like some type of milestone with one of the little apps that I use to follow. Let me see if it'll tell me what it was. Yeah. Yeah, but it does. Oh, hold on. Here we go. This is it. 2,100,000 views. That's crazy. That's crazy. 2,100,000 views. That is nuts. Thinking about like when I had just started and like what I was doing, and now I'm at 2,100,000 views. There was another one. What's the other one I got? When I reached 7,500 subscribers. So that was a big deal for me because it took me it honestly took me 13 months to reach 1,000 subscribers. 13 months. Some people do that in like 2-3 months because they just whatever their niche is or whatever they get that thing. Like I struggled with that. Like I was grinding for over a year trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So, and when I hit it, that was before YouTube had changed the rules a little bit, because the rules now are you can make money when you hit the 500. When I finally got to 1,000, they hadn't changed that rule yet. So you had to get to 1,000. You had to get to 1,000 to be able to monetize and do all of that type of stuff. Now, once you get to 500, you can get the super chats and the members and all of that type of stuff. So, there we go. Thursday, September 4th, 7 Eastern time. Cowboys and the Eagles. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. Got to start looking at film again, breaking that stuff down. I'm trying to make a point. I want to try to get more into the nuts and bolts, more into the game, within the game, studying the defenses and trying to do a little bit more than just watching the game. You know what I mean? When the level of detail that you have when you are in the locker room, and then when you step away and you don't have to do all that homework every day and all of that type of stuff. For me, like you lose a lot of that stuff. So I got to get back into it, recognizing the defenses, all of that type of stuff. I'm really getting into the nuts and bolts and the study of the game, because that's where the fun is, and really understanding what you're watching, what's happening, being able to see things before it happens. So that's where I'm trying to get back into with the football stuff. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I'm so glad it's back. Can't wait. Can't wait. Let me see. RC says, what about getting your watch hours up? Which one is more important, coach? Subs or watch hours? That's a great question, man. For me, this is how it happened to me on Pro Fan Talk when I was building this up. What happened to me was when I finally got to 1,000 subscribers, the shorts really helped me out. And this is the best way I can describe it. The shorts will help you out to get the subscribers. So I was going full tilt. I was doing videos and I was doing like 10-minute videos, and I would create like 4 and 5 shorts from that video. And that really boosted my subs. But when I finally got to 1,000, I only had like 2,300 watch hours. And you had to get over that 5,000 watch hours. And that is what got me into streaming hardcore. Because you can make the videos, and at the time, and even now, I'll do a video that I think is phenomenal. And it might get 90 views. And it might trickle up to 100, and it's just slow growth. And then I'll do something. I won't edit it. I won't sweeten it. I'll just do something to do it quick and just put it on there, and it'll blow up with 35,000 views or something like that. 35,000 is a lot of views for me. So, I take all of that stuff into perspective, and basically, so once I hit 1,000 and I realized I had all of those watch hours, that's when I started streaming. That's when I started doing live streams, because I didn't really understand the benefit of that. And quite honestly, I didn't have the type of audience to do live streams. I was seeing everybody else do it, but I was like, ain't no way I'm gonna be able to get all of those people. And it's not even about that. It's about just do it. Because once you start doing it, you can't help but get better. And then you start meeting people. And then, like I said, I hooked up with Barrett because I know Barrett. And then Barrett introduced me to Tone. And now me and Tone got a show. So it's just about doing it, because once you start doing it, you can't help but get better. But for me, the subs was the shorts, and then the watch hours come with the live streaming. Because even if you get 25 people watching you, your watch hours is going to go up. And then that's why I'm so big on, like, when I stream, like even now, like I got like 10 people on now. But I'm going to be more hardcore into having a set time. I'm going to start advertising the days I go on and when I go on. The reason why I go on so late is because my show used to be at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock p.m. And then I realized I got a nice group of people, a nice group of followers on the West Coast. So 7 o'clock for me, they still at work. So I was like, I got to find a time where I messed around at 8, then I moved it back to 8, then I moved it back to 9. And I think one day I streamed. Um, I didn't even plan on doing it. Something happened, and I was like, let me just go on and talk about this. And I just clicked the button. I didn't do a thumbnail, just like tonight. I didn't do a thumbnail or anything like that. I just turned it on and I went. And I ended up getting like almost 150 people live on stream, which for me is a lot. And again, that happened with no prep, no thumbnails, no lead in, no promotion, none of that. And I was like, I got to figure this stuff out. So, but I'm saying all that to say that's why you always hear me say, next time you come, invite somebody, bring somebody with you, because my goal this football season is to start having these streams where I'm getting like, the goal is to have 100 yards. I look at it as like I'm running the ball, like I'm a running back in college again. The goal is to get 100 yards every game, right? So 100 viewers every stream. That's the goal. And then you move on from there. You see in my background right here, you see Tom Grossi over there, right? So you see Tom Grossi back there. Tom Grossi rated my channel last season. When we played Green Bay, he always streams because he's a Green Bay fan. And then he does this thing where he gets all of his followers. And now, mind you, if you ever watched any of his streams, some of you might not know who he is, but Tom Grossi averages. He was like the NFL in 2022. I think in 2022 or 2023, he was the NFL Fan of the Year. And he had been doing the YouTube thing for years. Got close to 1 million subscribers. But when he goes live for his games, he's getting like 8,000 people watching him concurrently. So that's like 8,000 people on the stream. And I'm like, good Lord. But what he does is halftime, he'll find other people that's streaming live like him, the football games. And he found me one night and he sent everybody to my channel. Because normally, like I said, I was normally between 25 and 50 people. And then I look up and I got 300-400 people on my stream. And I was like, what the hell is happening? What just happened? And then finally I started reading the chat and the people were telling me this is a Grossi raid. I was like, who the hell is a Grossi raid? Then it finally clicked. And then the day after it happened, I went to his channel. I subbed him, went to his channel and watched the replay of the game to see when he did it and what he was doing. And I was like, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. And I was like, if I'd have known that was what was going on, like I could have got up to like 800, 900 people. But I was ignorant. I didn't know what it was. So that was my first time even really hearing about Tom Grossi. So when that happened, that next week, like I said, I subbed him, then I started watching his channel. And that next week, that next game, I was on his live. And I was one of those 4,000 or 5,000 people, whatever it was. And I kept sending him a message and I sent him a super chat. I sent him like $9, $9.99. I did a super chat. I said, hey man, you rated my channel last week. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can collab in the future. Pro Fan Talk. Then he read that on the show and then had him raid me again. So I was like, dude, you got a mural in my background forever. Because he didn't have to do that. And like for somebody that gets like 25, 50 people to all of a sudden you up to 300 and 400 people, you like, what the heck? And that really helps people out because out of that little raid, I may have gotten like 25, 30 subscribers or something like that. So things like that, I think about just trying to help people and just trying to, but the goal trying to get to that level where you can get 100, 150, 200 people on your stream. Tone is doing that now. every time me and Tone get together, we might have 250 people watching us, but 200 of them will be for Tone coming from his channel. So, and I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to get to that level, but I already understand how it works. I know how the sausage is made now. It is a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm always trying to build my squad and trying to get that organic growth. Organic growth is not fast. It is slow. But what happens is the people that rock with you, and they stay with you. And that's why Alex, got a wrench. Carlos, that's why you got a wrench. Chris, that's why you got a wrench, because you guys been rocking with me for so long. RC, you gonna get your wrench pretty soon because y'all been consistent rocking with me, and I want to keep getting that number up there. I want to keep getting that. I want to be able to go live, and I want to be able to have 75 to 100 people on the live, and then from there get to a point where I got 150 people on the live, and the 200 people on like, you got to start building it up. So, and then on top of that, you got all this competition. Everybody and their mama got a podcast now. Everybody. Before you know it, Sophie Cunningham gonna be doing NFL games. Shit. So you understand what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to build it, man. So Alex, I'm trying to make it happen, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Week away. We almost there, man. I'm on let me see something. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link if anybody want to talk football, want to talk Eagles. You know we can do that, man. You know we can do that. My teammate in the Hall of Fame now too. Shoot, you already know, bro. You already know. Lord have mercy. What is this? Other people got shot in Philly again. Lord have mercy. But yeah, man, it's been fun, man. And I'm trying to take the channel to the next level. Trying to figure out how to do that. So, but when I get stuff like this, oh man, I ain't gonna lie, that feel good. That feel good, bro. When I was in June, uh, in June, no, May to June, May 2nd to June 2nd. That was my best month ever for YouTube. 200,000 views, and it all popped off because of a video I did about Angel Reese. So it's all good, man. It is all good. But I tell you what, there's a lot of people already. Let me see. NFL Network. Already there are a lot of teams with injury issues. A lot of teams with injury issues already. So let's hope we got Andrew Makuba is jacked up. So we got issues like everybody else. Nothing major. I saw a couple people. Justin Fields has got that lower leg injury. Your boy from Dallas got hurt, the offensive lineman. I think he got hurt his leg. I don't think it's serious, but serious enough to keep him out of contact for a couple days. So you got stuff like that going on across the league. Training camp is always like that. Always. That never changes. I was looking at this. They got the virtual first down marker. I was just in the meeting with the competition committee. This stuff is coming, man, and it looks like they're gonna do it right. So, and then you see Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry wants to trade. He wants out of Washington, which is funny. I think they're gonna sign him, but he is not happy. He is pushing the envelope. Terry McLaurin, Denzel Ward trying to get Terry McLaurin up to Cleveland. Man, they better get I don't. Cleveland is crazy if they think Joe Flacco is just going. I'll be very surprised if Joe Flacco lasts a year. I'll be very surprised. So y'all gonna go ahead and rock with that 41-year-old quarterback. Y'all go ahead and do that. Y'all go ahead and do that. I'm curious as to how this thing with Shador Sanders is going to play out, because it's you can tell it's pissing everybody off that he's been as solid as he's been. Because here's the thing that you gotta understand. Here's the thing that you gotta understand. Um, when if Shador would have been bad, everybody would know he was bad. You feel what I'm saying? If Shador was bad, everybody would know. Everybody would know. There would be no misunderstanding of how bad he was, because they would be telling you, "Oh, we gave him a fair shake. It just wasn't. He just didn't have it." You would be hearing all of that type of stuff. He had a fair shot. You just can't turn the ball over. Blah blah blah. They would give you every reason in the world why they had to cut a rookie like that. So the fact that he's not getting that, the fact that you can jump on a lot of these Browns networks and Cleveland Browns podcasts and stuff like that, nobody has anything bad to say about him. They can say that, maybe they're saying everything, but he's not good. And if he wasn't good, they would be shouting that from the mountaintops, because everybody would want to come out to say they were right. He wasn't ready. He wasn't as good as he thought he was. They were waiting for that to happen. And then what do? They haven't given him any reps with the ones, and they're gonna hide that under, well, he's the fourth quarterback. They don't never get reps with the ones. And it's like they're trying everything they can to make it seem like this is a normal situation. And it's not. And they are going to get burned for it. Cleveland is going to get burned for it, because Shador is going to end up getting up out of there. They're either going to let him go, somebody's going to pick him up, they're going to trade him. Hopefully they trade him so they can get some value for that idiocy that they did. But he's going to have to get out of there. It's going to be a shame, because that means he's got to go somewhere else and learn a new system. And he's right back at square one again without training camp. But he can do it. He's got good pedigree. He knows what to expect. Shador, I think he will. I think he will. You got to understand, man. The one thing about when your dad is a Hall of Famer, let me say it like that. Now, you can take all the stories about, and I heard what Stephen A. Smith said, where everything that happened to Shador is because teams were going at Deion Sanders. I don't know if I necessarily believe all of that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Because when you're dealing with some of those GMs and some of those owners, you are dealing with the richest of the rich, who don't like people telling them no, and people not, marching to their drum. That's real stuff. You got millionaires and billionaires who don't like to be told no. I don't want this rough start in my organization. He's not going to listen to what I want him to what I tell him to do. That is real. There are real stories of people getting cut for no reason. People lighting it up in camp, just going off on folks in camp, beasting on them, and they end up getting cut because a coach don't like them or for whatever reason. It happens all the time. That is a real thing. And it's a shame, because there's a lot of guys that should be playing in this league who aren't. And there's a lot of scrubs, not scrubs, but let's just say that there's a lot of people that are playing where there were better options. Shit, look at Zach. Look at Zach Bond. Look at Zach Bond, what he did here and what he did with the Saints. He was a special teams guy with the Saints at best, because he had two guys in front of him that were decent. They were pretty good. They were playing pretty good ball. And they had bigger contracts. So he got lost in the sauce, the numbers game, and all of those cliches that you hear. That's a real thing. And he finally got a spot in the organization that gave him a chance. And look what he did. And I tell you what, there's still plenty of situations where people do the same thing and they never get their opportunity. They balling out. They beating the guy from the big school. But just like everybody's down on Jalen Hurts for whatever reason. He's not big enough, strong enough, tall enough, all of that type of stuff. Don't throw for enough yards. The same reason that they will shortchange Jalen Hurts is the same reason they will cut somebody that had the best camp out of everybody else at his position. Same reason. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah. That's a good comp. Deja Kelly. Absolutely. 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 Look at what's her name? What's the girl that got in trouble? Sedona Prince from TCU. And the thing with Sedona Prince is it's either one or two things. Because if they could have drafted a 6'7" girl with skills, she should be playing somewhere. And I think it's a situation where whoever that girl was that she had the altercations with, they hanging that on them. Just like if you remember a couple years back when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl in 22, and the kid had to stay on. They kicked him off the team because somebody from his college brought up a essay case against him, something that happened like 3 or 4 years ago, and they were just bringing it back up to the light, and they got it in the spotlight because they was hoping to get paid and all of that type of stuff. So what do? They want to take him to court, and they put all of this stuff in the news right before he's about to go to the Super Bowl. So what did the Eagles do? They had to leave him home. So she ruined that dude's career, and he was found innocent. But she had already ruined his career. She had already taken him away. He might not ever get an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl again. And she stole that from him, and he was innocent. But you already got the most important thing you have in this world is time. And when people waste your time or people steal time from you, that situation right there, that person stole time from him because he had to get a lawyer, he had to go to court, he had to do all of that stuff when he should have been playing with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. She stole time from him. So even though he was exonerated, she won. She took something from him that he might not ever get back. I don't understand when you see what happened with Shannon Sharp and some of these other players. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it. I take that back. I do. Because I've been in those situations and I've seen what happens. And now it's even worse. Because now you got these women hanging around, and some of them got these crazy profiles, and profiles mean money. So it's just even more dangerous. So you better stick with the one that brung you, or stick with the one you brung, or however you want to say it. Because these people out here these days are scandalous. They are scandalous. And all they doing is looking for a payday. You just saw what happened with Shannon Sharp, and it's like Shannon Sharp won his case. Really? Did he? Did he really? And now supposedly there's another one. Sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. Most times it's more trouble than it's worth. Yeah, I thought about that too. I don't know the history. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the other stuff. I know she supposedly had some bad altercations with an ex-girlfriend or whatever. But I had heard that there were more situations like that. So I get it, but I never did any homework on that. Because the as good as she was, and as far as they went in the tournament last year, and as well as she played, there's always a reason. Because that's too obvious. And like one of the things I say today is, man, um like it's very easy to tell if someone's about some bullshit or not. Because everybody these days, they put all of that shit on social media. But when they want to get something out on social media, they are laser focused and crystal clear. When they trying to answer stuff and they want to say it without saying it, then all of a sudden everybody get cryptic. Everybody putting out these clues and leaving breadcrumbs. And it's like, well, a couple of weeks ago, you said what you said and you was 10 toes down on that one. How come you can't just come out and say it now? Because usually if they ain't making it plain, that means there's some BS about it. That means there's some BS about it. Because if you want to make it plain, you can make it plain. So I think a lot of it is, in a lot of these situations, that will let you know what it is or what it isn't. If you got people, and even on their social media, they are coming out and saying exactly what they want to say, it's crystal clear what they're trying to say, as opposed to some other times they putting out these cryptic tweets or liking somebody else's post, all of that type of stuff. So everybody's it's just accusations and all of that type of stuff and opinions and hot takes. You don't know what the person ain't never said anything, and it's like, nah, that sounds like some BS. That sounds like some BS. So Eddie Holmes, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Me and Tone working on some new stuff. We got to get together and we're going to have it together before the season starts, where we're going to start twice a week. We're going to start hitting it up. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the subscribe. Over under Bears winning by 11. So yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff going on. But it is very easy to figure out where somebody's head is at. Because just like anything else, if you want to tell somebody something bad enough, you'll find a way to tell them. And you don't have to be complicated, and you don't have to be cryptic, and you don't have to leave breadcrumbs. You can say exactly what you want to say. Did you hear what Sophie Cunningham said? That shit is about to blow up. Watch Monday. Or this weekend when Indiana play. They're going to be playing that clip for the next 3 weeks, where she was talking about when she was with Phoenix and everybody was going at Caitlin Clark, and she was like, yeah, that's just too much. That's just too much. And like, people been saying that for years, but for now you got somebody that ain't afraid to say it. And it's like, well, and they're going to have a work stoppage. The W is going to have a work stoppage. I am pretty sure of that, because they ain't budging off of what they want. And I think they deserve what they want. I just don't think they're going to get it in this CBA. It's going to be probably in the next CBA when they really get their worth, because I think, and this is my opinion, but I think the owners think that in the next 2 to 3 years, they have the opportunity, a legitimate opportunity, to make their money back. All of the money they've been subsidizing over the past 30 years, they got a way to make their money back. And they're going to take advantage of that, which is why I believe it's not this CBA. If they were smart, they'll meet somewhere in the middle and they'll sign the CBA for 2, maybe 3 years. And then when that's up, you come back again, and then you get the money that you really want and deserve. You got to play the game. They got to play the game. And what they need to do is they need to ride this wave, because this wave with Caitlin Clark ain't going to get them paid. The next wave that's going to get them paid. This wave with Caitlin Clark is just going to pay off their debt. So they got to play their cards right, man. Brandon, is Trey Lance better than Dak? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What would make you think that, Brandon? I like Trey Lance. Trey Lance is not better than Dak. Sorry. He is not. Now, it looks like he's in a situation where he's going to get a chance to play, or at least he'll be a solid backup if something happens to Justin Herbert. Um, but we'll see. But he is not better than Dak Prescott. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be getting into. I even thought about doing fantasy this year, but I was like, ugh. Every time I try to join the fantasy league, if you're in the fantasy league, hit me with a thumbs up in the chat if you in the fantasy league. Every fantasy league that I've joined, I think over the years, I think I may have finished one fantasy league. I lose interest in it because I concentrate so much on the games. I'll be that one that forgets to turn in the lineups, and I'll be turning in the lineup, and I'll have 3 or 4 guys that are on bye weeks or something like that because I just haven't paid attention. I'm that dude. See, sick of roller coaster Dak. Are you a Cowboys fan? You a Cowboys fan, RC? Can you imagine? And this is when the stuff like really pisses me off with Jalen Hurts, right? Can you imagine if Dak Prescott, even in the last 4 years, if Dak Prescott had done what Jalen Hurts has done? Can you imagine how much slobbing they would be doing for Dak Prescott? Gone to the Super Bowl twice, got a win and the MVP out of one, outplayed the best quarterback in the league in the other one, even though they came out with the L. Can you just imagine how much slobbing they would be doing for Dak Prescott if he would have done that? Hell, if anybody else would have done that, Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all of them quarterbacks, Joe Burrow, and listen, I am very, very, very fond of Joe Burrow because he plays in my hometown. He's representing Cincinnati. He played in Cincinnati. So keep your homeboys at home. So I'm hoping Joe Burrow can bring a championship to my hometown. But I don't want him to do that at the expense of the Eagles. I know that. But even as good as he is, he hasn't had a situation where he's been able to get over the top. And we have. In spite of all of Jalen Hurts' shortcomings that everybody else says he's got, but he just continues to prove everybody wrong. Ben Johnson wants Caleb Williams to complete 70% of his passes. You think he can do so? No, he can't. No. But I understand. Because the quote is Ben Johnson wants. We don't always get what we want. What he's doing is he's setting high expectations. That's what he's doing. And I get that. I get that. So let me see. Let's go. Who's the best? Let's go. You know what? Let's go Josh Allen, Mr. MVP. Let's go Josh Allen. Right? Let's go 24. All right, hold on. Let me bring y'all in on this. Got to move myself around a little bit. I'm gonna go up top so I don't block nothing. Oh, by the way, the link is down. So if anybody want to jump on and talk, the link is down there. Hold on, I'll post it again. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe too. Let me see. Oh, there we go. So they want him to throw 70%. Okay. So let's look at completion percentage. So let's look at the MVP. And this is the stuff, this is what I'm telling you. That's a lofty goal. You know what I mean? If you reach for the stars, you're gonna hit the sky. That sort of thing. But let's just look at it. Let's just look at it. Completion percentage. What did he get for the year? Let's go. So, okay, here we go. Here we go. So, the MVP year 2024, Josh Allen was 63.6%. 2023, 66.5. 2022, 63.3. 2021, 63.6. 2020, 69.2. 2019, 58. 2018, 52. So his best year, this wasn't even an MVP year, was 2020, where he was at 69.2%. Let's go. Let's look at another one. Let's look at Mr. Lamar Jackson. Let's look at the career. All right. So completion percentage. Now remember, he wants Caleb Williams to get 70%? So, and we're talking about a back-to-back MVP quarterback. And his best year throwing the ball was 67.2% completion percentage. Last year was 66. His MVP year was 67. His other MVP year was 62. Then he drops to 64.4, 64, 66, and 58. So even the last two MVPs have never gotten 70%. You think Caleb Williams is going to get that? Hell no. That was just a lofty goal the coach threw out there. He just threw it out there. You just said, you aiming for the moon. We'll see what happens. I'm already sick of Aaron Rodgers. Already sick of Aaron Rodgers. What's up, Tiff? I'll see you in there. So, yeah. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. This is 2024, right? So this is last year. So let's look at Lamar Jackson's best game. He had a game, the Commanders, the Bengals, he was 348. He threw for 348. Chiefs, he threw for 273. That was a good game. 348 against the Bengals, 323 against the Skins or the Commanders, 281 against the Buccaneers. Listen, in my book, if you above 275, that's a good game. 280, 290, 207, he was short. They lost that one. He threw for 177 against the Chargers. They won that game. And you know what? That's important. Let's look at the games that he won. 217 against the Browns, 168 against the Texans, 207. 290 was a good game against the Giants. Everybody was good against the Giants. 237 against the Eagles. They lost that game. 177 against the Chargers. They won that game. 290 was a good game against the Bengals. Again, he lightened the Bengals up. Damn. 280 against the Broncos. That's pretty good. 281. He had a run where he was like lighting it up. 281, 323, 348. He was getting it done. But it's not like He threw for just over 4,000 yards, 4,172. So, yeah, I agree. Week 10. Um, some would say week 6 or week 5. The first time they played the Bengals, he threw for 348. So, or against the Giants, he threw for 290 with 5 touchdowns. So, the Buccaneers, he threw for 281 with 5 touchdowns, no picks. So he's had a couple of them. The first game against the Bengals, 348, 4 touchdowns, no picks. That's his best game right there. Week 5 against the Bengals. Good Lord. 348, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Sheesh. And then the Giants, 35-14, 295 touchdowns, no picks. He did not throw a lot of interceptions. He only threw 4 picks this last year. 4. He was killing the game, man. He was killing it. So yeah, man. I appreciate that, RC. So listen, man, look at the stats, man. Do the homework. Numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. So sometimes, even when you see stuff like that, I would have to go back and watch one of these games where he threw for, you know, they beat the Chargers. He threw for 177, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So let's go back and watch that game. How many times did he take off in the pocket? Like, how many yards did he rush for? Different things like that. So a lot of times you really have to get context of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind. Because the stats, like, again, numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. And the stats, like when I'm bringing up this page right here, that doesn't give context to what actually happened in the game. Same thing with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and everybody else that want to say is so much better. Patrick Mahomes. I talked about this the other day. It's like all of these experts that know so much, who just was ready to bet their house and their family that the Chiefs was going to three-peat because Patrick Mahomes is that good. You can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, did anybody bother to look at that offensive line? Did anybody bother to watch Caliendo the last 5-6 games of the season and saw the troubles that he was having? Did anybody bother to look at Joe Thuney on the moving the left tackle to fill a spot and him not playing his best because that's not his natural position? Did anybody bother to look at that? Oh, and by the way, on the other side, you got Nolan Smith and Jordan Davis and Josh Sweat. Patrick Mahomes has never pulled. He's never been a pulling guard. He's never had the drop set as an offensive tackle, and Nolan Smith is coming. Patrick Mahomes can't do nothing about that. And you saw what happened in the game. You got what you got. We talked about that. If you want to bring an extra man in the box to stop Saquon Barkley, if you are brave enough to put A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith one-on-one on islands, leave your cornerbacks, your DBs on an island, yeah, you go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. And that's another situation where Jalen Hurts answered the call, because the whole game plan for the Chiefs, if you watch the Super Bowl, was they're going to stop Saquon Barkley and make Jalen Hurts beat him in the air because they didn't think he could do it. They didn't think he could do it. They gambled and they lost. Did they not watch film and know that he's got one of the best deep balls in the NFL? They couldn't have. Because if they would have done that, they should have known better. But also, we got a team where you got to pick your poison. You go ahead and stop Saquon. What you gonna do with AJ? Go ahead and stop AJ. What you gonna do with Devontae? Go ahead and stop Devontae. What you gonna do with Dallas? Go ahead and stop Dallas. Who's spying on Jalen? We got a 5-headed monster on offense. 5. We got 5 legit options. Saquon, Jalen, AJ, Devontae, Dallas. Every skill position, we got a Pro Bowler, whether they made it or not. And nobody in Kansas City bothered to do their homework. All they did was talk about we can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes don't play defense, man. They don't play defense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am, Tiff. Yes, ma'am. EA. Eric Allen. So happy for that guy. So happy for that dude, man. So happy for that dude. I tell anybody, man, proud to call that dude a teammate. Proud to call that dude a teammate. I remember that game when they came back home after that game in New York where he had that pick six after Randall got hurt and was coming out the tunnel with his crutches. And Eric Allen took that ball all the way back and ran to the back of the end zone and gave Randall Cunningham the ball. I'll never forget that. Because I remember I didn't travel that game. That was in New York. I didn't travel that game, but we would always get together and watch the games, go over somebody's apartment or whatever. All the people that stay home, we watch the game together and stuff like that. And I just remember when that was it Monday? Yeah, it would have been Monday because we'd have had to been because they took the bus ride home after the game because it was a early. I think that was like a 4:00 game. So after the game, you get back on the bus, they drive you home. But I just remember Monday in the locker room, we had our walk through and watch film. When Eric Allen walked in that locker room, man, we mobbed him. We mobbed him. Everybody was hugging him, dapping him up, all of that stuff, man. We mobbed that dude, man, because it was like you knew that was a special player. You knew he was a special player. So, so happy that EA finally got his flowers. Yes, it should have happened 5 years ago, but it is what it is. Not the first time, won't be the last that sometimes somebody deserving just gets ignored for whatever reason, and then they finally let him in. So, it is what it is, but my teammate is going into the Hall of Fame. And that, to me, that's a full circle moment. I'm in my college Hall of Fame. I'm on the ballot to be a college football Hall of Famer. I'm on the ballot. I'm not an actual Hall of Famer. I'm just on the ballot. But just to have your name on the ballot for something like that, to me, is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm on the college football Hall of Fame ballot. My name is in that list. Like somebody thinks I was good enough in college to be considered one of the best of the best of the best. So to even be nominated is phenomenal to me. And to just be on that same kind of like plane where EA and many others are. And hopefully Jalen Hurts will end up if you keep playing like you're playing. So yeah, man, it's I'm so glad that we are ready to get started. Yeah, I gotta get busy. I got about 3 weeks. So I can get my new graphics up for the start of the season, man. I'm excited. I'm ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll. It's been so much fun. So much fun. But it's gonna be wow. So look at it like this. Look at it like this. So, and I'm looking at everything macro, right? So I got the NFL going. So I'm transitioning into football. The WNBA is still going on. We still got about 15 more games before we really get down and dirty into the playoffs. So I'll be rocking with the WNBA into the playoffs. And by that time, football will be in full swing. So I'll be balancing that and the WNBA playoffs. And then when the WNBA ends, I'm going to be going into the, Australian and the Euro. I'll be following that. And then the NCAA women's will get started. I don't even watch the men anymore. I do not watch men's basketball anymore. Every now and then I will watch the Sixers. And then once Tyrese Maxey got hurt, I stopped watching them. But the WNBA is going to go right into the NCAA. The NCAA is going to be lit this year. It's going to be lit this year. The women's game is going to be lit. Why? because everybody wants to see Olivia Miles at TCU. Everybody wants to see what Hannah Hidalgo is going to do at Notre Dame now that Olivia Miles went to TCU. Everybody wants to see what Lauren Betts is going to do in her senior year at UCLA. Everybody wants to see Paige Becker's girlfriend, AZ Fudd, and Sarah Strong at UConn. And then you got Silas Swords at Michigan. And then you got Toby Fournier, the Canadian girl who been dunking with two hands since she was 13 years old from Canada. That's playing at Duke. Then we wondering when Juju coming back. It's so much stuff going on in the women's game this year. This year it is going to be lit. So that momentum is going to carry all the way into whatever's going to happen with this CBA. And that's the other thing. The CBA is going to be hot and heavy. The CBA is going to be hot and heavy. I'm starting to agree with some of the sentiments. Like I saw Rachel Demita. I talked to my girl, Shira. She's somebody that comes on my channel from time to time, and she is somebody that used to do business negotiation, things of that nature. So she understands what she's talking about, and we both think that it's going to be a lockout. And the one thing she got me together with, they don't have a lot of time, because I was like, well, they got to the end of this year till next year, and then it's like, well, no, they don't. They really don't, because you got the end of the season, then Unrivaled is going to start. That's a whole nother conversation. Conflict of interest, fee, steward. They're the reps for the Players Association for the WNBA, and they're running a rival league, and they're doing the CBA negotiations. Yes, that's a conflict of interest, and they better understand what that means. So then what happens to all of the players? Is everybody going to be going over? Because Unrivaled ain't just going to all of a sudden have 8 new teams to accommodate all these other new players. And now, mind you, Unrivaled is signing people out of college to NIL deals and all of that type of stuff. Everybody ain't playing Unrivaled. So that means everybody's going back overseas to make their money in the offseason and do what they got to do. Gabby Williams and all of them, they doing what they got to do. Function, let me be honest with you. I watched Unrivaled to support. I'm not crazy about 3-on-3 basketball. I'm just not. That's not my cup of tea. Yeah, Tiff, I'm going to be busy. For facts. I'm definitely going to be busy. But yeah, I'm not. Unrivaled didn't do it for me. I tried to watch the 3-on-3 stuff in the Olympics, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I know Haley Van Lith and them, didn't they win bronze or something at the Olympics? I'm just like, I'm not feeling 3-on-3 basketball. I like 5-on-5, especially after watching the NCAA women's tournament and watching the NCAA women's all year. I watched all year. I didn't just watch the tournament. I watched all year. And I watched no men's. I have not watched a men's college basketball game in probably now, we're talking about almost 5 years. Of course, I see highlights. Yes, I watched clips of Cooper Flag and all of that type of stuff. But for the most part, the games, I was watching South Carolina, I was watching LSU, and I was watching Iowa. And of course, Notre Dame, because Hannah Hidalgo is from right here in South Jersey. She's from Haddonfield. And then I find out Ivy, the coach for Notre Dame, was roommates with one of my best friend's wife who went to Notre Dame. So I was like, I didn't even know that was a connection there. So just different things like that. Just excited for it. And it's like I said, the women's college season is going to be lit. But I'm interested to see if they're going to do anything different. But I just didn't. Even the one-on-one stuff I liked better, but I don't want to watch one-on-one. I want to see 5-on-5 basketball. If you playing 3-on-3 or if you playing one-on-one, in my opinion, ultimately you're doing yourself a disservice, because you going back and you making your money with 5-on-5. So that's what you should be practicing on. That's just me. But I'll watch it to support them. I'll watch it to support them. But you got the other thing. You look at you had a couple of players that really had to deal with some injuries because of Unrivaled. And now you don't want to do that because now with the money that they are about to get in the W, if they play their cards right, you're not going to want to risk that. You're not going to want to risk that. So, yeah, man. The 5-on-5 is where it's at, man. That's just me. A lot of people like 3-on-3 though. A lot of people like the Ice Cube 3-on-3 basketball and all that type of stuff. That just picked up where the and one mixtape stuff kind of fell off. So we'll see. We'll see what they're gonna do. But it's excited. Tiff, like you said, I'm gonna be crazy busy. But I'm all for it. Still trying to build this channel. Still trying to get up to 8,000. I'm at 7,500 now. What's my official number? Hold on. What's my official number? Give me 1 second. I gotta find what's my official number. Let me see. 1 second. See if I can figure it out. Yep. Social account. Oh, thank God. There we go. Let's go to the studio and let's do, yep, 7554 analytics. There we go. So if anybody bothers to subscribe, I can see it. So we at 75, 74. So we're trying to get to 8,000 before the NFL season starts. So we gotta jump on it. So, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm getting there. Yeah, Tiff, I'm getting there. Slowly but surely, I am getting there. So probably with this show that me and Tone gonna do, it'll probably boost it up a little bit more. And also, once the WNBA season is over with, there'll be a lot more focused content on football only. So looking forward to that. So yeah, we getting there. So if I even have to say it, if you haven't liked and subscribed, hit that like button, subscribe, pass it on, share it. And we're going to keep this thing moving. And I'm going to be able to watch some highlights from the game tonight. And there'll be some stuff on Sports Center for Friday. So I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, we'll end this on some of this. I meant to do a video specifically about this. And I just got busy today and I couldn't do it. But what were y'all thoughts on it, all my WNBA people in here? What were y'all thoughts on Kalia Copper losing her wig in the game? Losing her wig in the game and then bitching because Indiana fans was booing DeWanna Bonner. I was like, first of all, sorry about your wig. Second of all, because you North Philly, so I got love for you. And second of all, like why are you bitching because the team that she left, she walked away from, is booing her, and you got a problem with that? I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all got to have a little bit thicker skin than this. This is y'all bitching too much. Alyssa Thomas is an MVP level player right now, and she constantly bitching about the fans. And it's like, shut up and just play. Like you have no reason to bitch about the fans. None. You talked all of that shit about Indiana fans, and the All-Star game was phenomenal based on what everybody else said. You're the only one that was bitching about the fans in Indiana. The fans wasn't the problem. So I thought that was kind of funny, and I meant to do a video, especially South Jersey was raining, so I was going to go outside and literally shoot in the rain, and I was like, yeah, this must be these tears that Kalia Copper is talking about, crying about they didn't treat DeWanna Bonner right. DeWanna Bonner came up here, she broke the record, everybody gave her a standing ovation, all of that type of stuff. and then she decided she wanted to leave. They were showing her love, so I thought it was a little bit too much. Yo, the dildo. Now I did put some videos out about the dildo. I thought that was so funny. I thought that was hilarious. And can you imagine, Kent, if that would have happened in Indiana, bro? Dude, that'd have been off the chain if that would have happened in Indiana. They would have been ripping Indiana's fans up one side and down the other. You already know. You already know. And then here's the funny part, though. You like when you watch the clip of it, and then they acting like they don't want to touch it, they don't know what it is, all of that type of stuff. Because I watched the video, that thing came from up there. Somebody launched that up, so they must have been high up in that upper deck somewhere to throw that. And they lucky it didn't like hit nobody, because I don't care if it's rubber or not, just like anything else. If you got an object that's got some weight to it coming from a long way away and gravity takes hold, you can really jack somebody up. So luckily it didn't hit nobody. And guess what? It is not the first time. That happened in the NFL game. That happened at a Buffalo Patriots at Buffalo. Patriots at Buffalo, like 2018, I think it was. Somebody threw a dildo on the field. It was caught on camera during the broadcast. So welcome to the club, WNBA. So I just thought it was interesting that the broadcaster didn't know what to say. They were stuck. They were stuck on stupid. They didn't know what to say. So I thought that was funny. So, but in any case, Justin Fields back on the field. His toe is okay. I guess so. We'll see. But in any case, I'm gonna get up out of here. Once again, I'm happy the football is back. Appreciate everybody jumping on tonight. Again, this is one of these situations where I didn't give no warning. I just jumped on because I honestly forgot that the game was tonight. The Hall of Fame game is always the Thursday night, not the Friday. So just forgot about it. But wanted to hop on, talk a little bit football, and I enjoyed it. Then we did football and we did WNBA. We doing double duty, man. We like Travis Hunter. We going both ways. So, but all right, man. I will see y'all Friday. If not, y'all enjoy y'all weekend. When is the next time that Indiana plays? So I know we got the Hall of Fame on. I'm gonna try to tune in and I might even try to stream while Eric Allen is giving the speech. I might try to do that. I don't know. When's the next Indiana Fever game? Next Indiana Fever game is Saturday? No, tomorrow. Tomorrow we are at Dallas. Now, see, we should blow Dallas out of the water, but that's going to be a tough game. Watch, we should blow Dallas out of the water, and that's going to be one of them tough games. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll handle business. But yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll even out. That's just people excited. You're gonna get one of them type of dudes in camp every year. But it'll take one of the vets. He'll go at the wrong vet the wrong day. They'll get him straight. Listen, if Coach Big Cliff Hunt can get Jalen Carter together, he'll handle Hod. So I'm looking forward to meeting him and talking with him. At least get a picture with him when I'm up there. So looking forward to it. And yeah. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I will talk to some of you guys on Friday. I will probably be streaming the game tomorrow, and we'll probably be doing some type of wrap up or something like that. So I'll have it together. So I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. If not, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. I appreciate you, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.